This is a magazine, or comic review I should say, of the Fantastic Magazine #1. Came out in 18th February 1967. And it was 9p every Monday it came out. And it featured Thor, Iron Man and the X-Men. And for probably most Brits, this is probably the first time they'd seen Marvel characters. A power comic it was there as well. Well, it's possible that, now I don't know the order of when the magazines come out, so maybe some of the similar comics like Wham and Smash and Power came out earlier with the comic characters, Marvel. But this, for me, would have been the first appearance of these characters. So what's in it? Well, it's all in black and white, of course. And you've got the standard story of Thor holding up the rock there. And now I love the quality, obviously black and white. Just get used to it in the UK because most of our comics were black and white. So obviously, unless you were lucky to actually have the American copies, and I expect some people did. I'm certain they were doing the rounds. I'm certain there were shops where you could pick them up, second-hand shops, etc. I mean, there was one in my town where you could just get. It was weird. There was all these DC comics, all from the 1950s and 60s. Tons of them. So there was some exposure to this sort of material. But I love the fact that there's some editing as well, because here, editor's note, Thor, it's got at the end, will appear obviously regular and fantastic, but they've also changed his name because it was Thor with 2 R's at the end of that in the American version. News from the floor of 64, which is 64 Longacre. That was obviously in London. And you got this, mentions the free pennant. And next issue, you're going to get a power scar. Wow. And then you've got the X-Men. Next one, again, the X-Men with Professor X. You've got obviously the old fluffy snowman, Iceman. Not Snowman, which he should have been called at the start, since he looked more like a snowman. Of course, you've got Jean Grey. Now, the whole story was not included. The Thor one, because it was Journey into Mystery, was a very short story anyway, so you had the complete story. This one, however, was split in 2. So you obviously the Magneto story where he turns up is a bit later. So we've just got Jean Grey. And then you've got Letters page, which is, I think, quite lovely, Letters page, because this was the first issue. And this bit, why don't you put in Smash? Gives a clue. Smash was definitely out before a pin-up of the Avengers, blah, blah, blah. And also Daredevil, X-Men, Dr. Fear. I suppose Dr. Fear was probably the British one. We did have a few of our own heroes. Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, of course. And also you've got here Thor. If thou darest remove Thor from Smash, so obviously it's weird. So there's Thor in Smash as well. But they put, anyway, you've got a little thing. Must investigate that. So the X-Men, you've got Fantastic Fans, you've got pen. Also, it gives the examples as well. I love that. Examples. Where to put the pen. Brilliant. Can't work it out. Iron Man is Born. Classic Iron Man is Born. And this is in, and it's great. And they're fantastic. You've got a lovely ad as well. So you've got the ad there. And actually, weirdly, the Iron Man story, they didn't finish. So obviously the Iron Man story was, which is weird because it was in the Tales of Suspense. It was a very long story as far as I'm aware. So you've got the Iron Man story. But they're fantastic. And then you've got the Hulk is in Smash, the Thing in Wham, and Spider-Man in Pow. Oh, Missing Link. That was a British one. Now, there is actually a volume that's just come out from the brilliant Rebellion. Rebellion bring out loads and loads of great books. And they just brought out the Missing Link. It's called Johnny Future. And that collection is wonderful. So, and not only that, because of course, you can see this one's very brown. It's had a few years of lots of love in the sun. And it's not so good. Their one's beautifully cleaned up and looks great. And you've got some Powerhouse pennants on the back. Thor, X-Men and Iron Man. So these are great issues. Now you should be able to find copies of this as well. I think they're not cheap, but this one's a pretty battered, tatty issue. They shouldn't be vastly expensive for a tatty copy. But obviously if you're looking for super mint condition ones with the special gift, brilliant shop to look out for is the 30th Century Comics. Brilliant shop with, and they often, I've seen Fantastic issue 1 occasionally on there. So you should be able to find copies on there.